Hey guys, this is Not Lammers from Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today we're going to be taking a look at a really cool deck, one that I've actually grown really fond of over the time that I've had it, and that is Simorgh. I always feel that Simorgh is kind of on the verge of greatness because it has a lot of really cool effects. It's a tribute summon deck, so it has all that tribute like Monarch and to a degree, I guess, a touch of the True Draco support, more so the Monarch support. And it has really good levels in the form of level 8. It has great recurrence, and it has some really cool things that are actually kind of that put Simorgh in a really unique situation that it can do things only really it can do. And I feel like if they just had a little bit more, they would be like right there. Like maybe they need like a baby bird that's a dark, but anyways, this is my updated Simorgh deck. It's very similar to my previous one, but that kind of comes with the fact that Simorgh hasn't gotten any director support. This is more so just an updated list of things that I've put into it and played it with practice. So yeah, before we get into the video, if you feel like supporting the channel directly, down in the description there's a few links you can use, including a link to our Discord if you feel like chatting with us. We have tournaments every Friday, so if you feel like joining those, that is down in the description. Without further ado, I'm going to move the extra deck and spells and traps off to the side, and we're going to get right into the main deck monsters. Zooming in just a touch, we are on the beautiful Meta Magic Metamat today, and our first monster we're playing is the big monster, Simorgh, Lord of the Storm. This is one of 3 tribute monsters, although the other one's not really a tribute monster, because you can special summon it. But Simorgh, Lord of the Storm, says your opponent cannot target this tribute summon card with spell or trap cards or effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Simorgh, Lord of the Storm once per turn. When a spell or trap card is activated, quick effect, tribute a winged beast monster, then target a card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. When a winged beast monster you control is destroyed by battle while this card's in the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So, while his effects aren't the greatest, he's definitely the weaker of the 2 level 8s. He still is fairly necessary for the deck to function because he is a level 8 Simorgh, and that is really important for the deck, especially with the way that the other cards work. The more important boss monster, I feel, is Simorgh of Darkness, which I really think should have just been called Darkness Simorgh, but whatever. But yeah, so this is Simorgh of Darkness. He shares the exact same stats as a Lord of the Storm, except he's dark. And then it says, while face up on the field, this card is also Wind attribute. You can only use each of the following effects of Simorgh of Darkness once per turn. If you tribute summon to a dark or wind monster, you can special summon this card from the graveyard if it was there when the tribute summon monster, or hand, even if not. When a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can tribute a winged beast monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Obviously, the negate a spell or trap is very, very much better than the spin a card, especially since both of them require tributes. Now, there is a lot easier ways to get these guys out because you're probably thinking, oh, they don't have special summon condition. Well, Simorgh, Lord of the Storm doesn't have a special summon condition. That's perfectly fine because this deck makes it super easy to tribute. So, the last high level. Oh no, there's more high level stuff in here. Oh, we're talking about all that first. Oh, past nod. You kind of ruined me here. Anyways, Dark Simorgh, which is probably the oldest Simorgh card that we actually play, and you only need one. We play three Dark Simorghs because we kind of have to, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, Dark Simorgh is really cool, and it does kind of define the way this deck plays. It says, while face up on the field, this card is also Wind. You can banish a Dark and a Wind monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, or you can banish a Dark and a Wind monster from your hand to special summon this card from the graveyard. And then it says your opponent can't set any cards on the field. Now, there's actually a really cool play you can do with this, where you also flip up Anti-Spell Fragrance, and your opponent cannot activate any spell or traps. That's literally what it comes down to, because they can't set trap cards, and they can't activate spell cards directly from the hand because they have to be set for a turn, but they can't set. So yeah, it does kind of create this soft lock, and it can be devastating to certain decks. So yeah, Dark Simorgh is really cool and definitely a nice little piece for the deck, especially since he's level 7, so you can drop him by a level, because there is a couple cards that say you can tribute summon for 1 less tribute or reduce a monster by a level. So he'll go down to 6, so you can just slap him down for 1 tribute, which is very nice. We also play 1 Rise of the Mega Monarch, mostly because of the level 8 Winged Beast. His effect never comes up. I'm gonna be honest with you right now, it never comes up. You can tribute Simorgh, Lord of the Storm, to summon him though, to get his full effect, but it really doesn't matter. Then the last level 8 winged beast we play is Danger Thunderbird, and I honestly do wish we could search this with the Simorgh cards. I wish it did say add a wind and a dark winged beast from your deck to your hand for the discard of a Simorgh monster, but whatever, or discard of a winged beast monster. But one of the really cool things you can do with Thunderbird is you can discard it off the Simorgh cards, because it says discard a winged beast, and then you get to do that card's effect. And then Danger Thunderbird gets to pop a set card on your opponent's field, which usually is a piece of back row, which works beautifully with Simorghs. Like, it just happens to be that. So yeah, so it's just a really cool card in that sense, in the way that it interacts with the Simorgh monsters. Or I guess the Simorgh strategy as a whole. But yeah, so let me put those slightly behind the darkness. All right, moving into the baby birds, and I guess non-tribute monsters. We play 3 Bird of Beginning, also known as Baby and a Fez. Fez Bird says on normal summon, you can activate this effect during the main phase. You get an additional normal summon for is it Simorgh monster? Yes, for a Simorgh monster. And then all the baby birds share the same effect of, if this card's in your graveyard and your opponent controls no cards in their spell and trap zone, or no spells and traps? And has no cards in their spell and trap zone, you can special summon this card in defense, but banish it when it leaves the field. All of them share that effect, and it's a hard once per turn on each of them. But yeah, so he gives you an extra normal summon for Simorgh. Simorgh, Bird of Bringing, has the same special summon effect, but his other effect is on normal summon, you get to search a Simorgh card from the deck, which is very nice. Then we have Simorgh, Bird of Calamity. This is one of the last. This is actually the last baby bird that we play. I used to play this one, but this one's really bad. Like, it's honestly just like one of the worst baby bird. These 3 are easily the best ones. These 2 are great. This one's pretty okay. Calamity says, when this card is normal summoned, you can send a Simorgh card from your deck to the graveyard except a Bird of Calamity, and then it has the bonus effect. But yeah, he's also it's also the strongest of the baby birds, because this one, the bad one, is 1400 attack. This one has 1500 attack, making him the strongest one. So it actually might be worth playing 3 of him, but I'm playing 2 right now. The last non-tribute monster we play is 1 Barrier Statue of Stormwind. This card is really cool. Basically, it says no monsters can be special summoned except for wind, and the whole deck is wind. So basically what you'll do is you'll summon Darkness and Dark Simorgh before you summon this, and then you'll summon this straight from the deck using the Link monster, which we'll talk about the Link monster when we get there. But yeah, definitely a key piece for Simorgh decks. Very cool, and very excited to finally get my hands on one. But yeah, so that's it for the main deck monsters. It actually plays a fairly low monster count, but moving into the spells and traps, we play 3 Elbor. 3 Elbors, which I commonly mispronounce as Ebors for some reason. But yeah, it says all winged beast monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense, and then it gives 2 bonus effects. One being a extra normal summon if you control a wind winged beast, and then the other one is you get to reveal a level 5 or higher wind winged beast, and you can summon it for 1 less tribute this turn, which is really cool. Very useful for the deck. Next card is the Simorgh Rhoda, Simorgh Onslaught. It says discard a winged beast, add 2 Simorgh monsters with different attributes from the deck to your hand, and then it shares the same effect, I believe, as the other Simorgh spell card, which is you can banish it from your graveyard, reveal a winged beast monster in your hand, and if you do, you get to reduce the level of that monster with the same name by 1 for the rest of this turn, which is really cool. And that includes after they're summoned. So, very cool on that. The last Simorgh spell card we play is 1 Repulsion, which says discard a winged beast, return all cards in your opponent's spell and trap zone to the hand, and then it has the same banish to reduce the level effect. So yeah, this is pretty cool. It's like a what is it? Is it Giant Trunade? Is that card, or like Hey Trunade, but like the original one? It's like that for a discard, which is pretty okay actually, but it's not the most optimal thing that you want to play. We'd rather just get rid of the problem outright. But yeah, so. Moving into the generic spells, we're playing 1 Terraforming to search Elbors, because Elbors is amazing. And then we're playing 2 Cosmic and 1 MST. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was going through this deck and I was like, why is there an MST in here? My only assumption is that this is supposed to be a 3rd Cosmic Cyclone, and I didn't have a 3rd common Cosmic Cyclone, even though This, I believe, comes out of the Machinist structure deck. So, I don't know, because I bought 3 Machinist structure decks. So, I don't know. Then we play 3, the Monarch Stormforth. This card is kind of a bit of a blessing for this deck. Like I mentioned, this deck can play a little bit of the Monarch support if you really want to. And this card is really, really neat for the deck, especially since you can just tribute off something your opponent controls to summon a bird, and then that bird is huge and your opponent now has to deal with it. So, yeah, really nice there. Of course, we are playing a bunch of level 8, so trade-in is definitely a nice thing, especially with Simorgh of Darkness, since you can trade it in, and then he'll come back when you tribute summon for any of the for any winged beast monster. But also, alongside that, you can use this to discard Thunderbird, draw 2, and then Thunderbird can pop a card, so potentially your baby birds can start summoning back from the graveyard. So, really cool, really good interaction overall with the Simorgh deck. As for the traps, we play 3 Harpy's Featherstorm. This card is insane, and it's a full turn, full board impermanence. What it says, if you control a winged beast type monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. If you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this card from your hand. And then if it's destroyed in the spell and trap zone, you can search Feather Duster, but Feather Duster is banned, so that effect doesn't matter at all. The main effect is that we have a in-hand impermanence we can drop in the standby phase that can't be negated as long as we control a Harpy in said standby phase, which is extremely easy to do because all our baby birds come back to become free link material with the condition that they lock us into Winged Beast. Luckily, the Harpy link is a Winged Beast, and we'll talk about it when we get there. 3 anti-spell, I mentioned this earlier, it combos with Dark Simorgh, and I have no regrets playing this. This deck isn't super heavy reliant on its spell cards, because basically what you do is you go turn 1, and if you open your spell cards as well as this, you just do your plays, you do your Simorgh stuff, and then you've built a big enough board that you can rely on your monster effects. You shouldn't need your spell effects after that, aside from the Elbors, but Elbors would already be face up. So that's the logic behind this. Even though this deck is like more spell heavy than it is trap heavy. But that's it for the main deck. I like this. I feel like this is good numbers for the deck, but like I mentioned, I do think that this deck could use just a little bit more of a something. I don't know what that something is, but I really do hope that we see some more stuff in the future. Moving into the extra deck, I mentioned it, Simorghs do have a link. You guys probably know this guy because he is part of an infinite negate combo, but in Simorghs, basically all he does is get you another bird. Usually now, moving forward, it's going to be Stormwind, Barry Statue of the Stormwind. Anyways, it says 2+ monsters, including a Winged Beast, cannot be used as link material. Your opponent can't target this card or Winged Beast monsters this card points to with card effects. This card will be destroyed by battle. You can destroy one other Simorgh card you control instead. During the end phase, you can special summon 1 Winged Beast monster from your hand or deck to the field with a level equal to or lower than the total number of unused spell and trap zones on the field. You can only use each effect of Sovereignty once per turn. He has 2,400, which for Link 3 is kind of small. I do kind of wish he was 3K, because then he'd be 100 points bigger than Darkness. And to me, he looks like he's a fusion of Darkness and Storm. So I do kind of wish that he had the extra 100 points on them, especially since he is a Link 3. But I do understand he is fairly easy to summon. Even in Simorghs, like I remember seeing that he was a Link 3 and I was like, this card's impossible to summon. But if you have like Bringing and Beginning in your hand, like Baby Bird and Searchy Bird, then you're perfectly fine. Like you can make this. I mentioned it, another card I mentioned earlier was Harpy Conductor. This just requires 2 wind monsters and it's a winged beast. So you can special summon this, bring back your birds, summon this, and then hold that Harpy's Featherstorm, and then in your opponent's standby phase, activate it because you control a Harpy monster. So this is a bit of a blessing. But anyways, yeah, Harpy Conductor really is a blessing for a lot of decks. I've tinkered with it in Speedroids because I thought it could be really cool to just full board and permanence your opponent. So that could be kind of cute. Other than that, it doesn't really have any notable effects because both of them require you to be like playing Harpies. So the only real thing it does is let you resolve Harpy's Featherstorm from the hand. We're playing 1 Great Fly because it buffs all the Simorghs by 500, which is fairly cool, especially since Simorgh Ebors, the Sacred Lands of Simorgh, buffs them by 3, so you can buff your birds by an 800 boost total, which is nothing to laugh at, especially since it brings these guys up to 37. So, very cool, very nice. Then we're playing one Helsevegger. This is just because it's a Winged Beast level Link 3 that can shuffle stuff back. And the last card we're playing is Lightning Chidori, although this should probably be a Totem Bird now. I think that one requires two level 3 wind monsters. I was playing this when I was playing this as well, but you can also play rank 8s. I don't know if there's actually a good rank 8 bird, but you could easily play that in a deck like this. And you can play as well, like, anything you really want to. I know there's also that, like, if you decide to play more level 4 birds, like, you could play a small Harpy engine in this deck. There's that, Zero Fine, I think is what it's called. It's like a rank 4, it's a rank 4 winged beast, and I forget its name. It's like a water winged beast. It's very strange. But yeah, that's it for my Simorgh deck. I hope you guys liked it. I really like this deck. It's one of those decks that I picked up because I just was interested in the idea of it. I was originally gonna, because what happened was I was gonna build this and I was gonna build Mio Tennis, and I built both, and I was like, man, both of these decks are really fun and enjoyable, and so I've kind of taken a liking to both of the Rising Rampage decks, the pack filler decks, because they are really fun, and I do hope we see another small wave of Simorgh, like 3 new cards, and I think this deck would be fine. But moving along, down in the comments, make sure to tell me what you guys thought about this deck. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything that I could do to make this deck better. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.